and welcome to yet another Yapping with me, Fellonius the Wizard. And today we're going to talk about role-playing games. I mean Dungeons and Dragons and all that stuff. Some of you might not have been playing RPGs. Sorry for you, I must say, because it's a very fine way of just interacting with people and inventing stuff and having your imagination go totally wild. But not everything is perfect in a role-playing game. There are some games that are good, there are some that are bad. I can mention a couple of them, but there are also some that has a twist. So yeah, I know a spying game. I think it's called Spy 13 or something like that. Nevertheless, Top Agent, there is one. GURPS is a role-playing system. I can go on forever. Now, what I want to talk about is ducks in RPGs. And you probably wonder, what? Donald Duck? No, Howard the Duck. And if you don't know the reference, Howard the Duck, it's an old comic, and it was also a very bad movie back in the early 80s. But I kind of liked it because it was the correct way of interacting and interpreting the Howard the Duck comic that I didn't like either, but that's another point. In Sweden, we had a role-playing game called Drakar och Demoner, Dragons and Demons. It was a totally Swedish one, built a bit on RuneQuest, but still, it was its own mark. It was more about running through the different tables. Every time you roll the dice, you have to check the table to see if you succeed or not. It was percentage dice, and there was 6-sided dice. I don't think there was anything else. Nevertheless, inside there were different types, races, classes, and all that, and that was cool. On the other hand, I had played Dungeons and Dragons, and I knew how it could be. But on the other hand, I played Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition, and that was limited to just 7 jobs. And 4 races. Humans, elves, dwarves, and halflings. But here suddenly we had a lot of different ones, and you could play many different ones. Now, that went spinning off, of course, and it suddenly, Dragons and Demons was very popular, but then people wanted more. So they did something called Mutant, and it's still going on. I think it's called Year Zero, and then you can also find someone called 2096. I have them all. And in Mutant, we are in Sweden, where there has been some nuclear blast, and all the cities are forbidden zones. Well, you can now almost relate to that if you played Fallout 4, Fallout 3 and all that. And inside there, it was a lot of different type of animals, of course. You were perhaps a mutant, a mutated animal, or a mutant person. And that couldn't have been done perfectly if it weren't for a duck. Back to Drakar och Demoner, Dragons and Demons, because among all the things they invented in that game, they invented the duck. And it is a Howard the Duck. You are supposedly going to be playing a race that it looks exactly like a duck, but with fingers and, well, that was about the only human thing you had on you. The feet were duck, the head were duck, the beak were duck, everything else was duck. And of course, being a badass ninja soldier with a big sword on your back and being a duck, that might appeal to some people. Then there were those of us who already had played Dungeons and Dragons, and we were going totally ballistic on the other hand. What? You can't have a stupid duck inside. Of course, you are able as a game master, the guy who is actually dealing with the adventure, you can avoid some things if you don't like them. So when I was going to do the first Drakar Demoner adventures, I removed ducks. There was no ducks in the adventure at all. You could never meet a duck. Never. On the other hand, when I did the Mutant version later on, there were several different types of mutant animals who, well, bears and stuff, and it was fun, but then it was a different game. Now, days has gone, years has gone, we're talking late 80s, and now, what is it, 35 years later, I am now listening to a documentary on Swedish television about our Swedish role-playing games, and they were actually taking up the point that there were ducks inside. I don't know what's going on, because when I heard that 35 years ago, I was totally no, never, ever. Today, what? Is that a problem? Is that something, is that an issue? Do we really bother with that? It's just a character, goddammit. Just give it a name, give it a weapon, and off he goes. And besides that, Dragons and Demons was a very bad game compared to, well, let's say Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, just make a jump. And later on there were several other games that I was going through. Eon was one, that was also a Swedish one, I think. Palladium, if you ever played that one, that was a really good one. And it was also a very good world where everything was more or less fit, but you were inside that as either a big company, platoon or something of an army, or you were against that army. It was very good. So Dragons and Demons, ducks, they would have been drowned in all the things that I have learned during the 35 years of playing role-playing games. Now, I haven't been playing much lately, alas, but perhaps one day I will go to my old folks' home, and instead of bingo, we are going to play Dungeons and Dragons, because I still want to do that. However, the idea is, do we want ducks in a medieval role-playing game, or do we not? Or do you have any other stupid ideas people have had in their games that you wanted to, no, we don't want this? It might actually happen, you never know, but on the other hand, we have a lot of computer games that adds many different types of things. Ducks in RPGs, yes or no? Please answer down below in the comments. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.